He's got all the intel. Web3 is a tree to show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. Wild stories from the web, he's always in the know. Crypto community, vibing where the treasures flow.
Hey, good morning, guys. Mega GMs. Welcome to the Swarm Report. Dude, it's our Friday edition. It's the community show. It's Cats at this point, dude. It's the thing I look forward to the most during the week. I do. It's just, a different vibe and get to hang with you guys. It's the best.
Favorite day of the week.
Yeah, dude, I'm feeling that. Okay. Guys, we're live on, I'm sorry, let me think of all the places we're live. We're live on Abstract. We're live on X. We're live on YouTube. But the Friday show is, to me, again, extra special because we're also doing the Spaces live for you guys to come up and chat. And especially today with a lot going on. And, man, there is a lot going on, from prediction markets to Virtual's Genesis to disruptive things in the base ecosystem. A day like this, more than ever, I want you guys to come up and chat and share your thoughts. So definitely come to the Spaces side. Let me put it on the screens just so you know where that's at, guys. But come over to the Spaces, hosting that over on my account here. That's over at Hudah_idiot. Come up and chat, share your thoughts here. Probably in about 10, 15 minutes, we're going to go full throttle into Virtuals and those updates. But get up here and get chatting. By the way, who is over here? Nikos, good to see you, brother. Alina GMs, Alizar GMs, Juvik, good to see you all. Today's episode, like last week, I love this, brought to you by PredictBase. It's my favorite prediction market, the decentralized prediction market platform on Base. Dude, go to the website, predict.base, bet on these markets that are there, launch your own market, or do it right through the agent, PredictBot, which is awesome. Cass, to do that, do you have to set up BankerBot? Do you have to set up a wallet with them?
So it's not through BankerBot. It's I'm getting echo. There we go.
Where's that coming from?
I think it's because I had the Spaces mic on.
Oh, okay.
So if I have the Spaces muted, can people still hear me?
Yeah. Because it'll feed through our
Cool.
video. Yeah.
Sorry about that. So So PredictBot has its own wallet. You don't have to use BankerBot. And like, if you have never set it up, what'll happen is if you tag PredictBot and say, hey, I want to create a market, it'll say you don't have funds, and it'll give you your wallet address to fund. Which of course you'll need some USDC and some base ETH for the gas. But so once you fund it, you can play right along on X.
And do you do all of that, like the funding of it and the creation? Do you do it through X2 by like pinging PredictBot?
I mean, I sent, when I've played with it, I sent it just like through my wallet, because it gives you a wallet address. Like, so you fund the wallet. I don't know. I haven't played around with it like on a normie side.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's perfect. Because again, I'm looking for, well, look, I'm going to chop up some videos and we'll keep doing things like that. But I haven't used PredictBot yet, and I want to. And for me, that's the easiest way to actually, well, it looks like it's the easiest way to launch the markets and bet on them. And I think on some of these, you'll have to be fast. Like when this evolves to I don't know, closer to the final form. So I definitely want to be set up there. So maybe that's what I'll put out there this week, is myself, making my wallet with PredictBot. Over on this video side, by the way, Alzar, Hoods, Eagle Eye, and dude, our buddy Dead's here. It's a rare treat to get our boy Dead.
Nice. What's up, Dead?
Good to see you, man. What were you saying, man?
That would be great video content.
I think so. And we have a lot of that coming up, by the way, guys. Like, we had so many awesome guests on this week, and we'll dive into a little more of those conversations when we get to Virtuals. But Sunny was on this week, and Bionic Dow on, and just like so many cool people. Make sure you don't miss this stuff, guys. We're heading into, I think, the very special part of this market here. FOMC this week. Again, we'll talk about that shortly. But this is the time where you need to be plugged in, and you have to hear from these teams. You do. It matters so much who they are as much as what they're building. And so make sure you're following us on X. It's the Swarm_AI. Again, CryptoSlam on YouTube. Catch the replays if you don't catch these shows live. It matters a ton. Our co-host today, Cats Fanatic. I think you know him already. If you don't, you should. But give him a follow over on X.
GM.
What do you say we get into it, man? Let's hit a little prediction market action. It was a hot one, dude. A lot of news in prediction markets and a lot of cool news on the PredictBase front.
Yep, hit it.
This is my favorite moment.
Set it, forget it, predict it, open it, PredictBase, PredictBase, all right now.
I don't know why that makes me laugh, but it does. It does. A quick update from PredictBase. If you're a dev, if you got some chops on that front, man, they're hiring right now. They're looking to hire a UI UX designer, remote position, pay you in USDC and Predi. I'll take that Predi, man. We're going to look at the chart here in a minute too, but that chart's looking spicy to me. And you're going to see some of the investments that are being made into prediction market platforms right now. And you're going to see some ridiculous numbers. We're talking like the volume happening on these platforms. The upside on these, I think, is ridiculous. So I think it's a pretty awesome opportunity right there. But maybe the biggest milestone and update here on the PredictBase front this week is this massive volume threshold here. Just crossed this week 1 million in total volume, which is incredible. I'm happy to say I was a little part of that. And Katz, I know you've been a part of that for a while, and I hope you guys more and more have gone from recognizing the prediction market meta that's coming to, hoping you'd get in. You knew you'd be in eventually. I hope you've now crossed that line and you're in. You're starting to play these, at least checking the platforms to understand them, wrap your head around them. It's go time, man. And when you see 1 million in volume here, again, we're going to see some other platforms and the numbers they're doing. I'm like, wow, man, the upside here is just, dude, insane. $10,000 paid back to market creators. Remember, launch markets, you actually earn fees. You earn money from these as people bet on them too. 39,000 bets placed and 2,300. I think they're actually over 2,400 markets created on the platform now. So just awesome stuff. You feeling the same way about it all, Katz?
So I think it's important if we're going to start, and it's important to look at other prediction markets and understand where all this is going. Like Kalshi's been building for 6 years. We're talking, we're a couple of months into PredictBase and we've hit 1 million. So yeah, it's really important. And I think one of the things I want to talk about today, whenever we are really focusing in on all this, is that fact on how early it is and what the roadmap is for PredictBase and PrediBot. I think that's important to really look and because I keep harping on how early it is, and I want to show some people why. So,
do you have some stuff? Do you have some? Do you have a little alpha?
Well, I mean, if we look at white papers like I do, and you see. Check out I sent you a link in the
private chat here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's peek at that. Dude, I've never read the white paper. I probably should. All right, yeah, what are we looking at?
All right, so we're in Q4, right? So, and again, they've already hit everything from before this, and then they've already hit some stuff in so they already added the base wallet support, obviously. So if you look at what's coming, all right, so right now it's already integrated on PrediBot's integrated on X, right? But it's coming to Telegram and Discord. On Q1, they've got enable live trading for market shares. That's the big one, but they are already getting close to that now in Q3. Like I would be shocked if that doesn't happen, or in Q4, sorry. I'd be shocked if that doesn't happen ahead of schedule. These guys are building quickly. And so, just looking at what's coming, like once live odds go, and then now we're going to implement PrediBot in Discord and Telegram, and it's already on X. The sky's the limit for this. Public betting portfolios. I think the AI, launch AI chat interface on the website is really cool. And it's something that I'm looking at, because it's one thing to have a conversation with PrediBot on Twitter. But then, if people have your notifications on and they're getting all these random notifications, for me to be able to have just a conversation with PrediBot and figure out what the best odds are and what's happening, cool stuff is coming. Gamified prediction markets are coming. There's a lot of stuff that's on the roadmap and they're ahead of schedule. And again, Polymarket, Kalshi, Myriad markets, they've been around for years at this point. This is brand new. It's on the hot chain. It's got different features that the other ones don't have. PrediBot's a big deal. It is so easy for normies to use, for AI agents to use, right? there's not AI agents betting on the other stuff because it's not agent to agent, right? So it just has so much potential. That's why we're so bullish on it. And it is still very, very early, but
Dude,
huge,
goal
huge.
for me. Well, actually, a quick question, then I'm gonna tell you this goal. Okay, is the live trading of market shares, is that the betting the odds, right? Buying something yes, no right now and being able to sell it, 10 minutes later, next week, whatever. That's that.
Yeah. So
Eat it.
since we're going to talk about other markets, right? So I'll give you the prime example. All right. So during the Miami Dolphins Buffalo Bills football game last night, which I bet on PredictBase, and I bet two different markets. They had two different markets up because, again, unlike Kalshi and Polymarket, anyone can create a market on this, right? Those are curated markets that are made by the team. You can't get creator fees off of. Well, here it's decentralized. Anybody can create a market. If you can get the volume, you get the creator fees. Like, you're making money for creating markets. It's brilliant. But let's say, just looking at Kalshi last night during the game, there was pretty early. The Bills got up. The Dolphins' chance of winning went down to as low as 4%. All right, so you can, if I put $100 in on the Dolphins at 4%. There was a point where they got it back close. It went up to 24%. So now you're talking, I have the opportunity to then sell my shares of $100 at a 6x before the game's ever over. And that's, that was within like a 30-minute span. So again,
That's what I want, dude.
That's the degeneracy that prediction markets bring. It's not like DraftKings where, you're making the bet and you're waiting to see what happens and all that stuff. You can sell out, like you can play swing trades, right? Like both ways the whole time. And that's where all that volume comes from. And what people aren't understanding, if you haven't read the white papers like I have, volume is going to correlate to Predi price. That's why that token chart right now is spicy because
Explain that.
Okay, so they have quarterly buybacks and burns. They use revenue from that volume because all the volume makes revenue for them. They get fees off of it, just like creator fees happen. So the more volume equals the more Predi that's going to be burned quarterly. So again, imagine now we're hitting, 1 million volume per month, or then 1 million volume per day. All those fees, 25% of it gets burned. Like it goes back, buys back the Predi and burns it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, no,
So-
that's spicy. They're at an interesting level right here too, where again, like we said just a few minutes ago, market feels like it's getting ready to head in one direction, and there's the sector that I want to bet on. I like this. I've been looking too. I was using Copilot, and I'm starting to look again for signals and I do want to time some of these entries. So I'm watching to see if smart money and dumb money, how it's moving here in this token. And if you don't know, guys, our Swarm Copilot browser extension is measuring that kind of thing, right? I'm looking at intelligence here, measuring the traders just in the Predi token right here. The skilled traders you see, they'll have a higher score. You'll see them labeled as like Einstein or, above average, something like that. And the guys who are losing money trading, well, they're going to have maybe that dumb little tag on their transaction. And I'm just watching to see what they're doing and scrolling through just earlier today. And I saw a lot of not as smart money leaving the token. And then I did see some of these genius traders actually loading up, which makes sense again at that level, which looks like it's our support level, the market heading where we think it's heading. To me, that's just kind of common sense that's probably where you want to be loading up. If you believe in the product, if you believe in the team. And to that point, like I always say, I bet on products, but I bet on the team every bit as much. And I want to meet these guys. I've met with them behind the scenes, right? I've chatted with them a few times. I've been on the video calls with them a few times, but I want to get them here because I've never interviewed them. I haven't had this conversation. It's different when you do it in public. So really want to get these guys on the show. And I imagine my goal is to get them on, not next week, because we got a cool guest next week too. I'll just spoil. We got the Whack AI guys coming on next week, but I won't spoil the why. But they'll be on, and that's actually perfect because I know Katz works closely with them too. So it's like that's gonna be a family thing.
I think the Y just got leaked.
Oh, did they tweet it?
Arbus did.
Arbus. Okay, hang on.
One of the Ys.
Okay, hang on.
Look at that sexy guy.
Dude, they got Okay, your like avatar, your character matters a lot. They got a great way. They
Yeah.
did really good with that. And I love how smart they are too. They're like, if you use this like in your promo materials, whatever, you no color, no nothing. It's got to be black and white. Like they get this stuff. It's smart team, man. Real smart team. Okay, yeah, it's probably whatever.
That is coming with their unlock, with their staking rewards. There's a lot coming with Whack AI in this next week, so it's going to be fun having that conversation next Friday.
I can't wait. All right, so then there it is. Next Friday, again, same time, same place, community show. So you guys come chat too, and also again, get your asses up here. Come to Spaces, come chat. We're gonna get to virtuals in a minute, but come chat. But they'll be on next week. Now the week after is when I really hope to get the PredictBase team on. So I'll chat with them, see if we can get that locked in, but would be awesome. Let's hit some of those those metrics on the platform. And look, we said last week, looks like they're on their way to hitting all-time high basically in every single metric here on our SlamVision Explorers, and they did. Already they have. So in September, 342 active wallets already. And what do we have, like 11, 12 days to go in the month, and already at an all-time high. Smashed every other month here. In fact, some of these months combined. And, roughly half the month still to go. Going to be really, really wild to see where that finishes. Returning wallets, same thing. Already a monthly all-time high. New wallet's not there yet, but absolutely on pace to break that previous record of 260. Lost wallets, also, we're not going to see an all-time high there yet, but on pace to see it. And you would expect lost wallets. It just means somebody who comes to the platform hasn't come back, but they're there. You already got their attention. You give them that volume. You give them whatever other incentives, probably coming back. Transactions also at an all-time high already. Interactions, dude, way up. 7,500 interactions. Previous all-time high was 5,700. And then the final metric here, active contracts. You can just think of this as like protocols or like automated tools that are interacting with the with PredictBase. Up to 87. So it's just showing it's not just us trading and placing these bets, but there's other systems that are starting to get plugged in and interact here too. So awesome to see. And if you just look for the visual representation here, it's just everything is up and to the right. So yeah, really, really exciting time to be focusing on PredictBase. So we were talking about these other platforms too, again, prediction markets, and I just want to show you what's going on even outside of PredictBase. If you're talking prediction markets, you have to talk Polymarket. All-time high here as far as volume on what was it, the FOMC prediction market here just this past week. So again, FOMC was awesome. We got the 25 basis point cut that's coming, and we're going to get multiple more this year, which is great. $200 million in volume on that market, on Polymarket. And I just start thinking, like Katz was saying, where you can actually create the markets on PredictBase. And what is it, like 1%? Do you get 1% of the volume?
1% of the volume. Yep.
What an insane number to think of then. If you 200 million in volume and 1% is yours because you made the market. You don't get that elsewhere. And Katz, you can't launch a market on Polymarket. Like you just can't.
No,
as a user.
Polymarket and Kalshi both are like the teams do the markets.
That's crazy.
They don't have it where users can do it.
I wonder if they'll open that up at some point. But either way, that's an advantage for PredictBase right now. And then, dude, there's so many cool stories that are going to fuel the rest of this run here. One of those is like base token, right? We heard earlier in the week. What day? It doesn't matter what day. Earlier in the week, we heard though that Base is launching a token, and of course, then you have a market created on PredictBase for it. And it makes it fun, and you gamify it. And again, I want those live odds. I want to be able to trade yes and no depending on sentiment. And I'm telling you, when that goes live, I don't leave my desk. Like I already don't. But when that happens, then you're dialed in degen and just kind of all throughout the day on that. But yeah, now a market up there, which is, will the Base token launch this year? I don't think it will. So I'd probably take that no bet, but we'll peek at those odds in a quick second here. And what else? Polymarket raising $3 billion at a $10 billion valuation. So again, I'm going to keep pointing this back to PredictBase and why that opportunity is there. It's because of this. It's kind of because of the money that's coming in, not just from us using the platform, but investors seeing that opportunity on those platforms. So that's what's being thrown around here. And then Katz also mentioned Kalshi. It was a good point. I'm glad you mentioned they've been doing this for 6 years. Again, that head start they have and the market share they have right now. But they're going to have serious competition here. But a lot of people have in their head that Polymarket is that leading platform, and it is. But Kalshi flipped him in volume here. I want to say it was like 1.3 mil. Wait, hang on, not mil. I would think that would be bill. 1.3 bill in monthly trading volume so far this month. So Kalshi's number one. Kalshi's number one this month. Just wild to see the growth that's happening here, man.
So can I just add? So go back to that post. Important designation, and this is coming for Polymarket too. Polymarket's getting back in the good graces. Scroll back down. They're getting back in the good graces of U.S. regulations, but Kalshi is the current one that's already CFTC registered. If you haven't experienced that though, like it is not for degens. Like, so if I want to, like, so going on Kalshi to create an account to where you can bet, like you have to give your social security number. If I want to send crypto to that account, like I got to give my social security number, and you've got to create like real KYC for tax purposes and all this stuff. Which again, that's that onboards real US users, obviously. But for degenerates, it's not so ideal. So there are decentralized processes, like PredictBase.
And you don't think PredictBase goes that way eventually?
I mean, they might have to. I don't know, but like I said, it's still early.
And make an agent trade for you.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that'll work. But either way, no, that's another check in favor of PredictBase. It's a great point there. And then ultimately, I just want to say this, and we'll go look at the platform, see if there's any interesting markets there right now. And I've got a couple ideas what to launch. I won't do them live here today. My markets last week were busted. I didn't launch good markets. It's a skill. It is. But just find your specialty, right? In prediction markets, look, you can be the guy who launches like really clever markets. And you could just do that at volume, right? You can just do tons of markets you launch and market them. You could play it that way, or you could specialize in a certain, kind of sector. If you're into politics, focus on those markets. If you're into sports, focus on. There's so many ways to play this stuff. But there's people playing the odds of these things, and they're looking for broken markets in a way. And in long story short, here's a guy turned $38 into $20,000. This is based on a couple Trump press conferences out in the UK here in the past few days. And again, I want to make this a short story, but basically one of those press conferences ended up being private. And so there was a swing of the odds here in favor of a word he was going to say, hottest, right? It went from like 99% down to like 0, or let's say 5%. And then there's the odds getting out of whack. And that's your opportunity. If you stay plugged in here, you can find these like broken markets and you can make a lot of money. That wasn't a one-off. Right? You're going to see that happen over and over and over again. And that's why I say right now is the time to definitely be plugging in and learning this stuff. So when that happens, you're not learning it then. You already know how to do it and how to play it, and you get to take advantage of that too. So find your specialty, get in and start playing. Now, Cats, looking over at PredictBase, any of these markets that you're looking at this week, and you did or didn't launch any last week? I can't remember. Oh, you're muted. Also, I just got to say the sports markets here, all of those look interesting. Also, Billy Betts was right on the market I launched last week. I think it was Falcons Vikings. Falcons were the underdog. Billy Betts picked Falcons. So if I bet that side, would have won.
Yeah, I didn't end up doing a community one last week. I was still kind of out of it with COVID, and I also had to go. I had dad duties and such. So, but yeah, I mean, the sports ones are the fun ones to bet on right now because it's where the most volume is, as far as PredictBase.
Right, and they're still right. They have their campaign going where they're adding some volume. They're helping get these a little more liquid too, which is awesome. There's opportunities here, guys. There really is. But right now, I think the ones standing out to me, at least for me, that are a little more fun because I'm not paying attention to sports too much. I should, but I do like these ones like Will Base launch a token before the end of 2025. Yeah, I see. Is there not like I'm thinking no, I'm not gonna make too much if I bet no on it, but I think a safer bet. I would just rather trade the odds on something like that. But also we had news that MetaMask is launching a token. So you have other markets out here now about that, right? And let's see if we can pull those up. But there we go. These are really, really new markets. Will MetaMask launch before March? I think this one's they launch before the end of the year. So I'm waiting to see if we get some volume on those two, and I might bet on them. The other ones that caught my attention, Cats, are these ones where I saw them at a glance and I didn't pay too much attention. It's basically, will Bitcoin close up or down today or tomorrow or the next day, right? So really short, quick markets, which to me, I love. I like the quick ones that you're not sitting waiting a week or two or a month to resolve. And this one here that's for what, tomorrow, It's got 1,000 in volume already.
Yeah, it closes
I'm
in
watching
11
stuff
hours.
like that. Yeah, so watch that and like look, I don't know. Well, it closes 11 hours. So, yeah, okay, you have half the day here to kind of stay on top of it and make your bet. And you probably got a nice little opportunity there. I'm probably going to end up betting on that one, but keep your eyes here and keep watching for new markets that pop up. I have a few in mind that I might launch here this week. But my markets last week just didn't work. One of them was, will Pudgy Party cross 1 million downloads by, I think it was the end of the month? It's not public info. I don't know why this is stupid. I should have known, but it doesn't show you on the App Store how many downloads. I think it used to, or maybe I'm used to the Google side, but on Apple it doesn't, so that I have no way to verify that. And if the team tweets it, great, but it wasn't a good market. So we'll do better on that going forward. Few in mind, I'll tweet those out when I have them up and live for you, and also do a little walkthrough of how to get them up. But man, get plugged in here. Please pay attention to prediction markets here, and especially right now, PredictBase.
All right, so I have an idea for my community market of the week, and it's going to transition us into virtuals.
Oh,
If you're good with that,
I love
so
it, dude.
my thought for this week, and I want community, like hopefully Choina, Nikos, and Lena, somebody like hop up here with us. Or sorry, not Choina, Cheyenne. Where's Choina these days?
Good question.
But so my thought for by this time next week is, do we see the virtuals make updates to the Genesis Launchpad by next Friday?
Oh, you think that soon, huh?
I don't know. That would be the market though, right? You know, I don't know if it'll be that soon. I think they have to. I mean, they've got to move pretty quick on this, especially, you know, we're going to talk about Aerodrome and what they did with their community launch and all this, but I think they've heard loud and clear that, you know, virtuals Genesis V2 is not for us. And so I think they got to make changes. So it'll be to me, it's a spicy market since Ethermage put out the info. How quick are they going to move? So I think that might be a fun market.
It's a great one. And maybe that ties into what Cheyenne's suggestion here too, right? Will virtual hit 2 by next Thursday? Well, if they announce some new updates to the virtual Genesis platform, maybe, but yeah. Okay. So virtuals, Catsy, when is the ETH hackathon? I think it's live now, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's live now. And I actually have, I think somewhere lined up a little update from it. I think it's live now though, Catsy. Okay, Genesis V2 and Virtual Season 3, right? They were very much, we're pushing, we need to make this like enticing for projects to come over and be able to raise enough funds. And like, we all got it, right? But a lot of people very early on looked at the mechanics. They're like, yeah, but that's not going to work for us. We're not going to win in that system that we think you're building. And you know, we had to wait and see how it plays out, and it's playing out pretty much that way. It's not to say wins aren't there. And of course, I don't think the market has been like really perfect. It's not what it was, right? It's a different market. But that said, no, the wins are way harder and they're much smaller and the opportunity is less, and it's not working for us. And then when you see something like Katz just mentioned here, what happened on Aerodrome and their syndicate launch, and you see, oh, well, they're getting an opportunity. That's a massive one. We saw a token launch over there, and I want to say that it's sitting at like a 600 mil market cap right now. Like, yeah, 600 mil. We'll show that in a minute here too. You're like, okay, well then saying the opportunities are going to be smaller doesn't cut it anymore, because that's not a small opportunity to have gotten in on that. And so virtuals here, something woke them up. Something woke them up, and it sounds like they're going to start making some changes to the platform and to Genesis and to points. And what that is, I don't know. This tweet went out, I think, just before we went live here, so I haven't had a chance to really dive in and break anything down. 2.5 hours ago. I caught it just before the show. But Ethermage saying perfecting a launch pad balances the fine line between wealth effect for market participants and attracting strong teams who can build out good fundamentals. By the way, as I'm reading through this, I want to hear your guys' suggestions on what they need to do, because ultimately that's what he's asking. He's asking for some feedback on things, and it sounds like they have some ideas here too. But yeah, we most definitely need some big changes here. By the way, guys, again, request to come up if you want to get in this conversation. I know you guys, this one, are very interested in taking into account all the feedback from degens and founders alike. It seems like design principles has to be these: allow higher multiple upside for degen. Yes. I got to think, well, maybe I don't want to get into each one on their own until we get to the end, but part of that is still like the teams that are coming over, right? Like the upside comes a lot from that. But also providing teams with a runway, and OpEx financing to build giga products. Yeah. Bring attention to teams' products and launches. Big one. And block out capital extractors like snipers. They're mentioning all the things that, look, I don't think any of these are new. So it's funny. I feel like Virtual's, Genesis V2 was meant to address all those things, and yet it didn't at all. Like, Katz, is there anything redeeming about V2?
No.
Is it just a big miss, like in every regard?
I've been saying it for a long time, man. Like, and I've gotten a little pushback, but not really. Like, I've been on the points are dead train for a long time, and it's just by numbers. I mean, we look at point value. So I mean, fixes have to come. So I'm glad that he's acknowledging it and they're looking at it. I'm not the smartest when it comes to all this, as far as if this specifically fixes it all. But I'll be, when it like whatever they do. I mean, these could be great suggestions, and there will probably be better suggestions from the community too. But like I know Goon wrote a kind of like a pros and cons of this, so it was really good. It made sense in my head. But when it launches, the proof will be there based on if we're making money again. That's what it boils down to, right? Like, if people are making money, then people are going to come back. That's why everybody, I mean, I went and staked on Aerodrome and started messing around with it because everybody made money. Like, it's simple. This is not a hard game when it comes to what draws attention, right? So
I can't wait to talk about that, by the way.
I'm not the smartest when it comes to all this. I'm just a DGen user, and I know what DGen users want, right?
But dude, here's what gets me. All right, here's what gets me. Everything he listed is stuff we've been saying all along for months, and nothing here is new. The things they're saying, hey, we need to, kind of address these things. We're like, fuck yeah, we thought that's what V2 would have been, addressing all these things. Higher multiple upside for DGens. We want to win more. We had a nice, like, kind of appetizer in V1 and season 2, and man, that's starting to get confusing. But like, we got wins. We saw the potential there. How do you neuter it in V2? It's a weird thing. Providing the runway and all these things. We have virtual ventures for the runway, and we have the VPNs for the support. We have those things in place already. Why are we readdressing it? Well, it's because it didn't work, I guess, but we've been telling you that we didn't think it was going to work. Bring attention to teams' products and launches. Again, we've been telling you, some of us here, and I'll use us I don't mind using Swarm, for example. I don't think we've had a single tweet from Virtuals. I don't think we've had any. It gets tricky, right? I would like more support. I think we would like more support. They've supported porn. They've supported all kinds of other things. There definitely feels like they kind of pick and choose who they're going to support. And it shouldn't be like that. Support people who are adding the ecosystem and who show up every day. And man, support the content creators. We've been begging you guys for that. This show and the Will and Goon show, and there's not many other shows, and none of them are getting retweets. None of them are getting retweets. None of them are getting, we had Dawn on, and that was fucking awesome. That was it. We're not getting the support. We're not getting the promotion. We're not getting any of it. And you guys do need it. You do need it. And those teams need it. And if there's anybody bringing attention to those teams and their products, it's a show like this. And it's Will and Goon, right? You got to support this stuff, man. And we've been asking for a while. If it takes, this to see it, great. Whatever it takes. But I hope they really wake up this time and we don't go see a V3 that doesn't fix any of it. They need to start listening. So they give some examples here, and this is where I didn't read it, so this will be a little tricky to get through. And Kathy, and you know what? When I say even the shows, it's you guys too who are writing the threads. It's the threads and not like the fucking AI sloppy thing. It's you guys who are doing the research and breaking it down, so a guy like me doesn't have to read the white paper. I can go read your like thoughtful commentary on it, and you break it down so much easier. So it's like supporting you guys. Retweet you guys. The only community stuff I see getting retweeted is like Graham's daily thing, which is fucking awesome. But nobody else. I don't see them retweeting any content creators. And again, you guys move the needle for these projects. So they have to help here. They have to. Catsy, more attention to the real OGs. Yes. And that's project side to the community side. The people who are adding to the ecosystem. Support them, man. Okay. One of the ideas here. And this is, I'm not a tokenomics guy. I'm not, eventually I get this stuff. It clicks, but a suggestion here, maybe this is where it's going, but market cap of these token launches starting at 100K USD, really small, but it's on a standard XYK curve. And this I do understand to a degree, meaning that versions, they're not buying at a fixed price. Every time somebody buys, then the price that they're buying at is higher, which makes it interesting. It's like your what is it? Your conviction early on. I'm trying to think. Pays. There's a tax involved here too. This is where I got to start figuring out what fits where and where's like the sweet spot, right? Because if you start trading early, there's a huge tax on this, starting with like right when a token launches, like a 99% tax. And it works all the way down to 1%. I think it's like the longer you wait, right? That is what's there to dissuade snipers from sniping right out of the gate. You go snipe, you spend all this money, and 99% of that is going back in Virtual's hand, basically. My understanding.
So explain this to me better though, right? Because that just feels like prototype. I mean, isn't that, I mean, if you buy early in the prototype, you get, better costs and you get more tokens. I guess I'm struggling to see the difference in like how that would apply to Genesis. Okay, so when the launch window's open, I get better valuation, I get more allocation, but how does that have anything to do with points? Like I guess I'm confused on this. I don't really fully understand how all that works, because it just seems like a prototype launch then versus that's not Genesis.
I'm with you. I don't think they're talking about Genesis here, because if they are, I'm also like extra confused. It doesn't make sense, right? It does sound like prototype with built-in sniper protection, which is again high tax in the first hour or so, and I like that. Again, we're talking Genesis. We want our points to be worth something. We want to buy in at this super cheap rate, something that we grinded for those points. We want them to be worth something. We want it to be easy for us to be able to do that. Like our work gives us easy access in at that low FDV. And yeah, this doesn't sound like it's talking about that. I mean, shit, maybe they're going to transition to more of a prototype, type launch style. I don't know. I don't know. This is not clear enough. And this is something they struggled with too, which is, clarity in what they're asking and saying and releasing. And it's still not there. So we do need a lot more info. In fact, I'll probably look at that Goon tweet and see if he's got a little more.
We're going to need Cheyenne. You got to come up here and explain this to us. I bet he can explain it.
Let's see. Cheyenne, you want to come up? I don't know if this is like, if you've fully digested this yet, but I am curious.
If he's available, come up and talk to us.
He's on the Space Society show. I hope so. Yeah. I hope he comes up. What were their other points here? Keeping the teams from rugging, no access to tokens unless market cap milestones, which is great. I like that. Also, we were supposed to have that like 69-day, kind of test launch, which didn't happen. And I'm cool if they scrapped it entirely, right? If they didn't think it was going to work, I get it. Something like this can make sense too. But then how do these teams get funding? And that brings us to something like Bionic DAO and their product, and maybe they're still going to incorporate those pre-sale things, which is a whole other conversation, man, because the community at one point was okay with those, kind of. I was on both sides. I'm like, I love it. I hate it. I'm not sure, but I don't know. The community's really turned on the pre-sale stuff after what happened with AI Rocket. And what was that token, Cats, that we had some problems with?
The Fox token, Fox Bet.
Little fuckery there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if we're doing it through Genesis, right? Like it feels safer. Like that was the whole point. So I mean, if it's coming, in the like a prototype thing and gets sniped, like what are you going to do about it? Like, and that's what happened with that one. And like, everybody who went in on Fox lost because of a sniper. I mean, so but again, that's why I need to understand, like, are we implementing this somehow in Genesis? And then how does that relate to points? Like, I don't fully understand the mindset of that part.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait for more clarity from them. It just doesn't sound like that was the Genesis thing. Now I do hope, dude, and I'm trying to remember who sent me this, but somebody put out a tweet about points being tradable. And this is the thing we were hoping. I was hoping for like really early on, like 6 months ago. And I think someone on the team even tweeted out something about tokenizing points or tradable points. And the team was very quick to respond to that after and say, that's not what we meant, or that was a mistake to say it that way. But again, somebody tweeted it out and they got a like from the team about that. I was hoping that means maybe that it's something they're considering. That'd be cool. I guess with that said, though, and let me pull up the tweet. The drama still with the pre-sale, platforms, again, like AI Rocket. I think it was Picasso put out a tweet about that. And I mean, somebody from I think he was basically saying, fuck those things, you know, like they're bad for the ecosystem, whatever. And then maybe everything empty. Somebody on the team liked the tweet and that was taken as maybe they agree. Maybe they've changed their mind about this stuff. Point here is them liking a tweet doesn't mean they agree with the tweet. That's them supporting you as the community and having your thoughts and making your feedback known. So I want to make sure that's really clear. If you get one of those tweet likes on your tweets, doesn't mean your idea is something that's coming. It just means like it's a thank you for sharing your thoughts. Shit, maybe I didn't save that one example there. But
and I mean, yeah, the whole thing with the OCD stuff, the backroom deals, you know, I mean, it's whales getting in, like it really defeats the point of Genesis, you know, honestly. And you're getting like for them to get way lower valuation buy-ins than Genesis doesn't make any sense, right? Like the whole point of Genesis was to get, you know, the virgins the best buy-in for these, you know, tokens. And so if like the majority of people are getting valuations at like 4x higher than the OCD deals, it doesn't make any sense. Like this, why would we do this? Why would we even go in on Genesis launches then? Like it's really backwards right now.
I get like where if you're on Genesis, it maybe should be exclusive to Genesis. And it's also to, like you're saying, it's really interesting. The fact that these other pre-sales are happening, it's telling you, this is the market telling you your platform doesn't work. It's not working for the traders, the community, and it's not working for the teams. It's just not working for either side then. If these other deals are working as well as they, you know, as some of them have. And we'll see. And that said, Bionic DAO like completely won me over. I saw everything about. I'm like, well, fuck. I wish Virtuals was doing something. Well, that I was gonna say similar. That I mean, it just like from the support right to the scoring, to again that like early opportunity locked in at what tier 2. I mean, beats the hell out of the tier 3. It's cheaper. You're getting a better value for your tokens. That's what we need Virtuals to go back to.
I want to say something real quick. Now, this might be. I'm trying to be somewhat PC, right? But like what Bionic DAO is doing, I love, because it's essentially, and I think I told you, it's kind of like what Vader was going to do, like what we all thought Vader was going to do with his tier system. He was making people docs to him, all this stuff, like actually have a go-to-market plan, all this stuff. So that's part of what Bionic DAO is doing. Like they are actually vetting projects. That's not what Virtuals has ever wanted to do with Genesis, right? They wanted to be like, oh, it's decentralized, you can do whatever. Well, like this makes sense to me because now I know that a team has actually been evaluated and they have to hit a certain score before they even qualify for any funding. And they have to have a plan. And like all this stuff makes way more sense to me from an investment standpoint. Is like, oh, now it's reached this threshold and I can see it. Like there's actual transparency to what the score is, the go-to-market, all the stuff. Like that makes sense. So if Virtuals would implement that in Genesis, like it's brilliant. It's not what Virtuals has ever said they want to do with Genesis. They wanted anybody to be, decentralized. Well, I don't want to necessarily be completely decentralized when I'm investing in a project. You know, like I want to know that it's a solid project. I want to know they've been doxxed and it's a real team. It's not going to rug me, you know? So I think, you know, I like what Bionic DAO is doing. I don't know that they will implement it in the Virtuals platform specifically.
Well,
it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, for real. And like with the Virtuals, like the DAO, the governance platform, and I didn't like it. I'm like, I just trust Virtuals. I just want to do what, and that goes to projects. I'd like them to vet projects. It doesn't have to be completely decentralized. I'd like them to curate it and give us good shit. And again, I like that. By the way, I thought Cutie for a second called us predators, but he called us predictors, which is way better. Appreciate that, man. And we got Cheyenne up on stage over on Spaces. Welcome, brother.
Hi, GM.
Buddy.
Yeah, the man, I looked at that tweet and I was confused as fuck, right? Like it just made no sense to me. I'll only say that they have to make it very, very simple. Very simple. They have to simplify the whole thing. If they make it any more complex than what it already is, plus they don't put out good comms, then it's not going to be it's not going to get better, right? But what I'm afraid of, I'll just talk about what I'm afraid of, right? And what I'm afraid of is that there are projects out there launching right now over the last week, right? And they're launching outside, they're AI related projects, and they're all launching outside of Genesis, right? If you look at we just had two massive launches, right? Like pretty massive, I would say. One was Sin, so I notified my group like, hey, watch out for Sin. That was launched on Arrow, same as Mammo, I believe, right? That flipped Arrow in one day, right? You're talking about FDV 1 billion, I believe, yeah, in one day, right? So that was, of course, a very bona fide project. So that was one. And the other one that just came out was called Idle, some robotics AI compute thing, right? And that also launched pretty well, right? So all these things are every other day, there's some launch coming out if you really pay attention to base, right? And they're not going to come on to virtuals, right? None of these things that shoot up to 40 million FDV, they're not going to be on virtuals, right? So that's one thing. How does virtuals address that? Can they address that? Right, especially with Aerodrome, their community launch thing. I mean, it was very hairy. Sin was the token. It was very hairy ride. I managed to make some money, but it was a bit hairy. But that was a fantastic launch, and I think the great projects will go there. And the other thing I'm afraid of is also things like Flay, right? That's another launch pad that's coming out. So we had Yes No Era. If you go back to season 1, YNE project on very high profile project on Solana, just came over, bridged over to base, launched on Flay, right? So there's competition out there, right? And if Genesis, I mean, if Virtuals doesn't do something real soon, yeah, it's not going to be good, right? So that's what I wanted to say is pay attention outside of Virtuals, very important. And yeah, I really, really pray that Virtuals, the team comes up with something good.
Do you think they're pivoting too late? Those are, by the way, I love hearing your thoughts. You're spot freaking on. And I hope you can stick around for a few to get into some Aerodrome, because again, the opportunities are everywhere else right now, and that looks like one of them. But okay, if Virtuals is now realizing maybe they fucked up, maybe they were too slow, whatever it is, they clearly woke up and they're going to change stuff. But like, do you think it's too late? Do you think the opportunities are now too big elsewhere, and now they're going to be playing catch up?
No, absolutely not, right? Like I tell you, in crypto, things can flip in a week, right? So absolutely not. I mean, if you look at the launchpad wars, right, one launchpad that has 80% market share on Solana, it can go down to 20 in a matter of days, right? So they absolutely still have time. The main thing is that they need to try to, like, if they lost any teams along the way, they need to go and somehow, change the thing, quickly reapproach those teams, bring them back into the fold. But they keep saying they have a very strong pipeline. So I think things will still be okay, but the point for me is that I'm not paying attention to Virtuals anymore. I'm making my money elsewhere, right? So that's the problem, right? If the whales start moving away from Genesis, that's also not going to be good. It's not good when they are in, but if they move off, it could be worse, right? If people like LVT Capital, like these guys, if they go off, right, probably not good for us, right?
Cheyenne, that's such an interesting point. I was chatting with some of the bigger players in Virtuals yesterday, and we were talking about exactly that, the whales in the Virtuals ecosystem, and really how few there are. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of the traders are looking just like less capital. And it's going to be a problem, to your point, if they move away entirely. This comes to a screeching halt. But you're right too, where this stuff, you can be the hottest thing one minute, the next day not. And Virtuals, I do think they can bounce right back and be competitive. And I bet on teams. Again, I can say that 15 times this stream, even like I bet on teams and I do bet on the virtuals guys. I think they can do it. I think they can turn around, but you know, what's in the pipeline? I'm curious about that. I was hoping we'd see some cool shit by now.
I mean, look, we had a great launch yesterday, right? Like people asking, like some people came to me and said, "Hey, what do you think of Wave?" I said, "Look, man, Wave is a super high profile." So I quickly put out the Arbus readout, right? I say, "Look, guys, right? Like just look at the Arbus readout, right? Wave is like I not that I like the project, and it's not really a project I like, but I mean, those guys were followed by Alon and all the top tier. I mean, they were high profile, right? Arbus score way off the roof, right? So I said, hey, if you have points, just throw it in, right? Way oversubscribed, right? And that did like easily 3x or 4x, 7
Holy
million.
shit, dude. I didn't even look. I
Right.
didn't see where this one ended
Yeah,
up.
Wave went wild. It hit 5.5x ROI. It's still sitting at a 3.91.
Wow, dude.
Yep.
Right. So it's not like the pipeline is dry. I'm just saying that what I'm worried about is that the whales like LVT, how they operate is kind of good because they will participate, they will get the tokens and they stake, right? So how they behave, they actually kind of create a price floor because I see all the stuff like Veronica, everything that they receive goes into staking. Right, so I consider them a good actor, right? But if they go, so if people like that go, that's not so good, right?
Well, dude, when people talk virtuals cabal, is that them?
Nah,
Not them. Okay.
I mean, I would consider Long Hash and those guys probably kind of. I mean, there is no. I mean, people always tell me, oh, the charts for this and look the same as that and Kabali, and I'm like, look, man, if you look at most charts, right, driven by smart money, they all behave the same way. They all de-risk at once, buy back in at the same time, right? Me and 0xYs, we woke up one day and everyone had de-risk, right? And all our tokens were down. So the charts that are driven by whale smart money, they all kind of behave the same. I don't think there's a cabal, so to speak. But there are, I expect that on certain launches, there will be some people in the know, like Lucian, Moxie, right? And I think, yeah, so, but I don't consider that cabal by any means.
Well, I dig it. You mentioned some names. I need to get more familiar with some of the big players, like in the market, because I didn't know some of those names you mentioned here. Yesterday was really fucking spicy, like really spicy for for base, for DeFi, for degens, for so many reasons, guys. It's the Aerodrome new launchpad, and I don't even understand how the launchpad totally works. I get how the syndicate token played out, but like TLDR here, I mentioned at the start, the syndicate token launched on Aerodrome yesterday on fucking fire. And this is why I think that, the virtuals community is feeling a kind of way right now. Because this token's sitting here right now, let me refresh, but a $642 million market cap. Like in freaking insane, $1.3 billion FDV. I don't even know what the product is. I don't know. But again, to see that potential that there's still money out there. Does that look right, Katz? Is that the right syndicate? Okay.
No.
Let's go and look for the right one then. I thought I saw it yesterday like 50, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Right now it's sitting, and again, I use base app for everything, so it has it as because it's a base token. It's sitting.
Saw the look in your eyes, dude.
I'm like, that's not even. It's sitting at a 35 mil FDV.
Okay, well that changes things like a little bit. Okay, it should be this one. Hang on, what is that other one? Yeah, hang on. Do you got a link? Do you want to send me a link, or let's go on Deck Screener?
Man, I wish here. I'll copy the contract address and send it to you on.
Yeah, I think the Cindy, yeah, something's fucked up with Deck Screener. You need to look at CoinGecko.
I was on CoinGecko. That's where
I just sent you I sent you the contract address on Discord DM.
Got it. Okay, let's look. Dude, we got to clip your face during that part. Yeah, I mean, so there is something fucked up because CoinGecko is showing it, and yeah, I mean, it's
So that, how is that possible?
yeah, something. It's just okay.
Okay,
You know
there,
what it is?
35. Yeah, there you go.
It's where it gets broken, where FDV and market cap sometimes are swapped or whatever, right?
Right.
So the
Yeah.
market cap right here is really FDV, and
Right.
FDV is the real market cap. So 34 mil. I wonder why that is. I don't know if it's like a circulating supply thing gets fucked up. I don't know. But either way, let's even go by just FDV. And if that's real, and I think that part's real, but
Yeah.
like FDV is at about 650 mil, we think. But market cap at 35 still is blowing away most things launching over on virtuals here. And they had a really interesting launch mechanic or mechanism of the way that you get exposure to this. And like, I'll tell my understanding, and then Katz actually is in there. He might have a little more hands-on experience, but basically it's like if you're a virtual holder, picture if you stake your virtual, you're earning rewards. And you tell me if I get any of this wrong, though, by the way, Katz, but you stake virtual, you get your virtual tokens, maybe as rewards or V virtual, and you can take that money and allocate it towards like an LP. I think that's how Aerodrome kind of works. You can vote and have your tokens allocated in LP, and then you earn fees when that token's traded. Tell me how I butchered that if I did.
Yeah, I still haven't fully wrapped my head around it. Honestly, like I just got in yesterday after all this. I'm like, okay, I got to start paying attention to this. There's a lot of different options on Aerodrome Finance. There's like relays you can do. There's LPs, the vote. So you have to to participate. You have to lock your Aerodrome, right? And it has anywhere from like a week to 4 years, and obviously you get higher voting power with that. Then you can go vote on these. Like I think Syndicate had the highest voting power, and when you do that, if that's the one you voted for, you get rewards from it. There's all kinds of incentives. There's a lot to it. Like Cheyenne was just talking about simplicity. It doesn't seem very simple to me, but people are making money. And long story short, like simple put, you asked if it's too late. It's not too late. If people start making money again and everybody's on the timeline screaming about the 50x they just made, or I mean, yesterday a lot of people was like 14x with Syndicate, whatever, then people are going to come back. Like people are going to flock to it, right? People are going to follow where the money is. Like where everyone's talking on the timeline, where people are making money, that's where people are going to go. So like even like me, I'm like, all right, well, let's start checking this out, right? Like we gotta be on top of wherever the money is being made. So, but it's not too late.
Yeah, so Aerodrome now is becoming a thing you got to pay attention to. I might have skipped over the tweet, but that's it. Yesterday, the number one protocol revenue wise in DeFi. Was that in the last week or was that just a 24-hour period? But either way, like beat Hyperliquid, beat Pump Fun. Yeah, revenue by protocol, beat everybody. Number one, it's huge.
Can I just say something else though? Like that again, this hurts virtuals, right? But Aerodrome has the Coinbase connection where now, like, because they're essentially the DEX partner with Coinbase and this whole new world we live in, Syndicate's listed on Coinbase already out the gate. The volume, okay, 24-hour volume was 18.18 million, right? So when you have that kind of volume just on this one token that just launched, of course, like, this plays massive factors in all this.
Dude, majorly. Yeah, the Coinbase listing is like the holy grail. And again, just seeing those opportunities here, somebody who had tweeted, wakes up to $9,000 in his wallet because he voted for Syndicate. So I think the way I explained it is at least like pretty close to how it works. And so just frame that again in the virtuals example. You stake your virtuals, you're voting for like all of our pooled virtuals together right now, get stuck in an LP for a new token launch, right? Deep liquidity makes it super appealing for people to trade on. And again, what that pool I think earns in fees, this is where I'm guessing, but it would make sense distributed to the people who voted. And I think that's it. And I'm like,
right, based on your
virtuals
voting
copies
power.
that. There you go. Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially what we do now with the the airdrop stuff. And like we can vote on, a percent this, percent that, but it's just not worth real money. I mean, oh yeah, I got points because I voted for this. Well, the points are worthless. So, but yeah, it's like that. So there's all these options on Aerodrome that you can vote for. You can put your voting power towards. And if that's the one that launches and, that LP goes wild, then you're just raking in fees and whatnot and incentives.
It's freaking awesome. I like it. I'm going to pay a lot of attention. I can tell you, like, you know, again, I can sometimes bring a little like behind the scenes perspective, and I can tell you, like, for a lot of projects, it's like caught people's attention, whether that's for like future launches and plans and just everybody feeling out like this is really it's not nothing, right? It is that disruptive to virtuals. And again, I know everybody's talking behind the scenes about Aerodrome now, which good. Competition's good. So bring it on. And I hope this is the kick in the pants virtuals needs here.
I think the one to look at, and I haven't dived in yet, right? But I think the one that they need to watch out for is Flay, right? And Flay, so they also have Coinbase connections, right? So I think that's the one that you should maybe consider investing in, but definitely pay attention to what's going on. I think it's called Flaunch, but the token's called Flay, FLAY.
And what's the platform's name? I want to see if I can pull them up.
Yeah, it's Flaunch.
How do you spell?
Like launch with an F in the front of it.
Yeah.
All right.
So those guys are really smart, right? Like, yeah, they will do some pretty cool stuff, I expect.
Build on Flaunch, would that be it? Maybe. Let's see. Does that look right? I think that's it. Yeah, I think.
No, that only has 311 followers, though.
Oh, God damn it. All right, hang on. Maybe that Launch GG.
Check that one out.
Let's see.
I honestly don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
That looks better.
A little better. Interesting. Okay, so another launchpad on base too, right? Yeah, on base. Interesting. Are there any like is there a different twist to launches on that launchpad? Like what reason should we be paying attention to those guys?
I mean, so the hearsay is that they are connected to Coinbase, so they could possibly, right, be integrated, more deeply integrated into the thing. And they have the whole creator thing going on, right? I only paid attention because I'm invested in Y&E, right? So I was hoping that the launch on base would drive up the price, right? But I haven't gone in yet. But people are encouraging me to really dive in and buy the token.
By the way, Y&E, I remember following that, like, right, I remember from Solana. Is that the one that reads like white papers and it like analyzes breakdowns, like, like truth kind of in them?
Yeah, the DeSci stuff, but the main thing is match clicked, all his connections, blah, blah. He's like the LinkedIn founder is, connected to the LinkedIn founder, all that kind of jazz, right?
Yeah. No, I like it. Okay, well, I'll keep peeking at Flaunch, and we'll do some more dives into Aerodrome. And please, virtuals, just like let's get this thing cooking again. I believe in you. I do. But
poking it with the stick. Do something.
What? Oh yeah. No, it's the meme. It's the meme. It's that. And fucking support your community. You yeah, just do that. All right, why don't we check in on some of the launches this week? Again, Waveform shocked me, dude. I just didn't know. I didn't know. So I do want to see how Sunny's doing then. And I peaked maybe yesterday, and it wasn't where I thought it would be. And it's still not where I thought it would be. And I like them. They were on the show this week. I think that's one of those like really, really good teams. 830K FDV. Was expecting them to be higher, although no token lockup, for the virtuals community. So, it had that sell pressure, not a ton. It's not like there's a ton of supply out there, but it had that. Now we got to look forward to the next wave that's going to have tokens unlocked, though.
Well, I was going to say, though, the thing with that is it's still above your Genesis allocation because it only went tier 2.
Oh, okay. Just barely, right?
It's 1.08. It's barely above, but compared to if it had hit tier 3, it'd be down 50%.
Yeah, fair. Yep. Okay. It's a good point. Well, Sunny, then, success. So there's that. Waveform, again, we saw 7 mil FDV is just freaking awesome. And there's some good agents coming. There's still some good stuff on the board, and a few that I need to spend more time diving into. But Agent Zero, again, I like them a lot. I really, really like the Bionic Down team. I like the ratings and breakdowns. It's just everything about it. I like, guys, if you didn't see them live on the show yesterday, just again, go to CryptoSlam, catch, not yesterday's, 2 days ago was Bionic Dow. I think that was it. 2 days ago, Bionic Dow. Actually, you can check out yesterday too, because Skynet was freaking awesome. Where the hell is it? There we go. Yeah, 2 days ago. Just get to know the team. Again, the team just matters so much. Those guys are very, very, you can tell they can build. And the product just made sense. Every part of it just made so much sense. And the only thing that I then worry about for something like them is if Genesis changes their mechanics, right? If they tweak their thing where all of a sudden just straight through Genesis is the best opportunity, well, then, does that hurt Agent Zero and Bionic Dow's platform? Which maybe it does. So a lot of moving parts makes it hard to make a big bet right now when the rules are about to change again. But still, regardless, that team, awesome. I do want to dive a little more into Vid XBT just because interesting, Mindshare interesting. None of these are like blowing me away yet. And there is one that I just like. It's more of like a personal thing. I just like them. But that Taika one from the Play 3 guys, I'm going to be doing a spaces with them next week, and we'll do it on the Swarm account. And it's going to be more of a it's not going to be like our typical, like jam sessions, interviews. It's going to be them looking for community feedback about like, excuse me, here's our product. Here's what we were thinking about doing launch style wise, but we're not so sure. Like, what do you guys think? They really want to hear from the community what you're looking for and the whys, and they want to gauge interest with what they're doing because they do have something unique. But they want to do this the right way. It's like you could choose the right thing for right here, right now. And dude, 2 weeks ago, it might have been doing a pre-sale with another team. And now you see guys saying they're going to boycott anything that does a pre-sale with another team. So it's like they want to know from the community. They don't want to fuck you over. They're good people, right? So stay tuned for details about that spaces, and we'll announce it ahead of time because I do want you guys to come and chat and give them your feedback. But man, anything Genesis wise on your guys' radar that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, I like Agent Zero. After that, I don't
Wait,
have a
which
lot.
one?
Agent Zero, I like.
Agent Zero.
Yeah, that's what like. I do like the Bionic Dow stuff. We'll see how it goes. Now, I was just reading the virtuals thing. They updated the UI about the fundamentals stuff. I still just go to the virtuals page. It's the announcement's not that impressive to me. It's stuff that because they haven't added any more projects to it. It's just they have a new UI on the website.
Got it. Yeah. Look, I still think some of the numbers are fake. I'll die on that hill. I'm real sure because like we know how little we're all using ACP, right? Like we know we're not using Butler. Some of the numbers that are out there for some of these platforms and how like kind of like how much money they brought in, I'm like, I don't buy it. I don't. Not all of them. In fact, I don't know if that's stupid to even be saying. I just don't buy it with some of it. I don't. Some of the numbers just don't make sense. So
the top one being Shekel actually makes sense to me because they have a revenue generating product. Like go to the virtuals website. You can. It's on the front page. It's right by Trinity. See that? It's right at the top. See fundamentals in the middle. Yeah. So that's what it's saying. But I mean, so even for me, like PredictBase has revenue. They've done buybacks. Like why? I mean, why is Sia on here? And I know that PredictBase has done more buybacks than that. Like it doesn't make sense to me how they pick and choose. Like Super Connector, does anybody know about Super Connector? Like, are we? I mean, I was part of that Genesis launch long ago, but I couldn't tell you what they're doing.
right, they have 100,000 in revenue.
Yeah, how? I
Right.
don't know. Some of this just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, this is where I start questioning. Hang on. Does Zaya have?
It
I don't.
says
I don't know.
$883,000 in revenue,
Like, do we buy that?
and they bought 14K back. Well,
Like, yeah, that doesn't look. Something's weird. Like, I don't. Okay, so this is all-time rev. Which one am I looking at here? This is Super Connector. I forget what they do. I completely forget. What was Super Connector? Trust layer. I don't know. I don't buy. Actually, what is even their what's their market cap? God, I gotta get a new mouse. This is brutal. Dude, they're at a 300K FDV. And I know I don't know, dude. This doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem right. 108,000 in revenue, tokens at a 300K FDV. And I don't know if there's like a perfect freaking formula for what should, how that should look in relation to each other. It just that it doesn't seem right. So like I'm saying, some of this I'm just not buying. So yeah, Zaya here, token at a 748K FDV. And I think Zaya's legit, by the way. I do remember Cons, I think, is like advising them too, and at least is connected. I think they're legit, but
Shows how connected you are. You haven't even claimed your tokens.
yeah, those. Oh, dude, I meant to say that, and I think I did earlier. Dude, I hadn't claimed anything in months. My airdrops I didn't claim, and even the ones I got in the Genesis pre-sales, I didn't claim any of them. I just claimed them 2 days ago and staked. I actually staked, dude, which is probably not smart, but I want to gear up and I got to start getting points back. I lost so many points from what I think was a glitch on the site, right? I committed 100,000 points, and I still every day was losing points. They were expiring, which shouldn't have happened. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm like, fuck it. Let me just get back in and try to grind back up because I'm way behind now. But again, either way, point here, 800,000 in revenue, and that just came up out of nowhere over like a month. It just doesn't seem right unless they have this, like IRL presence and they got a business and they made money and they just kind of like loaded all that data in at once or so. I just don't know, but I'm questioning all of it right now, and I just don't know if it's a great look.
Again, this is a comms issue to me, right? So like this is what you're posting about. This is what you are drawing attention to, and it's limited to a few projects that nobody's into. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not the case with all of them, but like in a lot of cases, like those bottom three, like none of the core community is talking about this stuff, but that's what you're gonna like bull post about and not what any of the community is interested in. It doesn't like it just doesn't what virtuals is putting out doesn't align with what the community is interested in right now. So that's just part of the comms issue to me.
Yeah, dude, yes, very much that. I want to look and see. I'm just gonna peek just for fun. I want to see what other tokens I have to claim still because I think it's a lot. Dude, I got lazy with virtuals. It speaks to like the problem we all have that it's not worth the time for me. It wasn't worth the time to even claim. How bad is that? Like,
yeah, I'm in
had
the same
tokens,
boat.
and
I'm
you
in the
just don't
same
want to
boat.
claim them because, like, who cares? It's like $30. Who cares? Like, we're spoiled, yes, but also like it didn't come here and put this time in for $20 and $30. If that was $300, it's different. I'm claiming it, and then I got that.
Go to your airdrop tab instead of showing everybody. There you go.
That one will look uglier. But my Genesis line, it looked the same. I hadn't claimed any of them. They were just sitting there. Which I just realized that was stupid. At least hold the tokens. Yeah, all these to claim. And I just like in my head, I'm like, when a token crosses, its value being like $15 or 20, I'll claim it. Otherwise, let's just let it sit there. Also, dude, when you claim, do you get these like what is it? Like rate limit issues? Do you ever get error messages about being rate limited? Or is that just me and my stupid ass wallet issues?
That's you and your wallet, bud.
Oh, it's so frustrating. I'll show you. It'll probably do it here. Let's see. I have to click so slow or I get a rate limit.
Yeah, that's wild. That's a you issue.
That like every single time I go to claim. So if I sit there and slowly click and then let the window sit there.
No wonder you haven't claimed anything then.
Dude, this will take me probably an hour or two to claim everything. It's ridiculous. And I'm using MetaMask. Hey, I hope I get a big old like MetaMask token drop, right? Hey, Gravity made it.
Gravity showed up.
There we go. How's our virtuals not like it used to be lost? Yeah, it's a bummer. And I'm sticking around because I'm rooting for it, but it's not like it was. It's definitely not like it was. Hang on, we got Smith requesting to come up.
So just on that take, while we're getting a guest up, like so for me personally, I'm kind of like Cheyenne, and like I'm looking at other places to potentially make money. Like I love virtuals because I love using products. And I actually like a lot of the virtuals products. I'm telling you all, if you don't use Gloria right now, I'm on Gloria Terminal more than any other website in my day right now. It is phenomenal. I love it. I use Well Intel daily. I'm big on Lurky. I don't even know if they're going to launch on virtuals, but Songjam's coming out with a new thing today that I'm really interested in. There's so many products that I use. I use Mamo, AIXVC, QuantFun. I signed up for VPay, all this stuff. Like I'm going to use Sunny. I love using the products, right? I can't wait till MicroTrader comes out. I don't, if anybody's not paying attention to what FYI is doing, they are actually cooking. You can now do notifications of the agents. I'm going to start putting more material out about it because it's really cool and it's doing well. All these tools have a lot of utility and they're actual useful stuff, but that doesn't correlate right now to there's like the trading volume on all this stuff is way down because people have lost interest in virtuals. And that's what we're talking about. So to me, it's not even about making money in virtuals right now. It's about like, I like using the products. But at some point, those products have got to make revenue and get people making money, or else, the whole thing goes away.
If you're a betting man, and you are, this virtual is going to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, they see the writing on the wall. And again, with their position in base and with what's coming in base, and honestly, I'd like to talk about some base token speculation after we, as we move on. But I don't see it failing, but they do have to get more aligned with the community and make an emphasis on it, because without a community, like, everybody's going to go to other stuff.
I'm with you. I'm with you entirely. By the way, this is just, I'd bookmarked this and I wanted to reply or push it or whatever, but I'll just mention it here. And I love this. Timo from MicroTrader. I like that we're working with a lot of people behind the scenes, which is cool. If you're a Swarm holder, look, just general comments here. I've seen people in Telegram, this is going back a while, saying like, well, weird on your Twitter account, you're just talking about other teams and their products and their platforms. I'm like, that's right. That's exactly what we're doing. Cause you don't know how many meetings it leads to and partnerships it leads to behind the scenes. Like, everybody comes on the show, we've made a friend, and it's an opportunity for a team to go show them what you're building and the why, and to really get it, and then to find integrations. And with the MicroTrader guys, I fucking love them a lot. And it's cool now that they're kind of getting their hands on and going to start using this stuff. A comment like this is awesome, right? This was a comparison to Nansen, which I fucking love, and Whale Intel, which I fucking love. And we're also talking to Whale Intel, which love those guys. But saying that he thinks, this is Timo again, thinks Swarm, smart money signals, this is like wallet DNA, but actually bigger. What he's really talking about is SlamAI is going to do better than both of those two. I mean, I'm biased, yeah, but I agree. And just, I want you guys to know that we're pushing very, very hard behind the scenes and working with teams, great teams like that. And you're about to see a lot more here. So it's been a blast. Dude, I think base token speculation is a great place to cap off the show here today. So that was big news at Basecamp. And dude, that was fun. You messages flying back and forth from people, that was exciting to get to hear that. And everybody's like, holy shit, Base is doing it. They're launching a token. They're actually launching a token. Other things too, right? We covered it earlier in the week. They have a bridge, a Solana base bridge that's coming out. It's on testnet right now. I think that's going to be live really, really soon too, but big deal for bringing liquidity over here, giving that community access to, base assets, base applications. Really freaking cool. But base token that we're all hoping you get from using base products, by using virtual, by trading these agents, by stake, just using everything on base. I hope we get to eat because of it. Katz, what do you think about the base token? And do you think we've got a leg up? We've got a little advantage here because we've been here playing already?
So I don't know on that part, right? Like, I hope so. Obviously, like, we all as base users want to be part of that. Hey, go get your base name, the ENS name, do all this different stuff, right? Like liquidity pool, whatever. Like, just be active and in hopes. But none of us are going to know that, right? the thing about all of this is, to me, is when these liquidity events happen, we are all degens who have been doing this, right? What ends up happening is people take that base token and they don't put it in their bank. They convert it and use it in whatever they like doing. Now, if that's a virtuals token project, if it's a prediction market and you gamble it away, whatever it is, usually it stays in that ecosystem and just creates a liquidity event. Like, that's beautiful for everybody. So that's what's exciting to me. So whenever this came out, and actually I think I did this yesterday. So I just talked to Grok. So me and Grok are good friends at this point. That's my preferred LLM. So I looked at just transaction volume comparisons, and I did it with base, Solana, OP, and ARB. Why Optimism and Arbitrum? Because they're similar L2s, right? Okay. So, and then, and OP and ARB have tokens. So base doesn't have a token, right? So transaction volume right now, like, so in 24-hour transactions, like base had 13 million, Optimism had 1.13, ARB had 2.36, like blowing them out of the water on transactions. Now Solana had 63.91 million, huge. But again, we're talking about now having a bridge from Solana to base and base to Solana to bring in some of that transaction volume. But the DEX volume comparison, right? So base had 2 bill, Solana had 4.5 bill, Optimism 53 million, ARB was 909 million. Like, we are like, so base is already so far ahead of all the transactions on Arbitrum and Optimism, and like the ARB tokens at a 2.5 billion, FDV, I think is when I looked at it. Like, so you're talking about, like, if you just look at that and double it, like, you're talking about at least a $5 billion token. Like, I mean,
That's how people are talking about it. People are like, when this comes, this is a top 10 crypto, like almost out of the gate, by FDV. Like, and it would make sense. It would make perfect sense. There's just Coinbase as like the funnel. Just, I'm sorry. So I got a text this weekend. When was Basecamp? Was it this past weekend, and also through the week a little bit?
Yeah, it was this past week. Yep.
Okay. So a buddy of mine, in some capacity works for, Coinbase base, and was there, and, just sharing some cool shit. And he's like, dude, my takeaway from this week is that base wants to swallow everything in Web3, which I assume too. That's not like anything breaking to me. I assume they want, but if that's the vibe of the team who's there, who, they also get to learn new stuff while they're there too. It was a base event. It was for base builders and the base team. And he's like, really bullish. He's really optimistic. He sees how hungry the teammates are, and the energy there. And you could see it in some of the videos they were putting out too. You're like, oh fuck, there's like, finally the culture is happening on base. It wasn't there, but it was so sterile, dude. It was so sterile and cold and corporate. And I'm like, it's never going to work. And it's changed. And virtuals, by the way, I don't care. Look, if virtuals fails, whatever, I will always say this, that virtuals is a big part of establishing culture on base. To me, it didn't exist till virtuals. They finally brought the degens. We all became friends because of the virtuals thing. And if it was short-lived, great. It still kindled this thing. But virtuals deserves a lot of flowers for that alone. But because of that, that's why a big reason I don't think virtuals is close to dead, because we're here and we support them and we root for them. And that kindle, I think we're going to spark it back up. But anyway, base going to swallow Web3. You heard it here. I agree.
So, and I've seen a lot on the timeline as far as like comparisons of like 2021 to now. And the big difference is, like, now all the builders have come to base. Like, all the smart people are here. And just a comparison of like people who work for Coinbase, stuff, like the people who work for us now are like incredible versus 2021. Like, so much talent has come, all these builders, everything's going to be built over here. And this is like the building blockchain, where that's not the case everywhere. And so, yeah, it's super bullish on the future of base.
Yeah.
And like Brian Armstrong was in DC with the regulators. Like, he's going to get this pushed through. Like, they're going to get all the US regulation pushed through to make all this stuff legal. Like,
yeah. Yeah, let me pull it up, because like I love the regulation stuff. That's one of my favorite topics here. And so we've been waiting, guys, for months and months and months. been talking about the Genius Act and then the Clarity Act that's upcoming, and there's this other one, the Market Structure Bill, and that's really ramping up. I don't think that passes right here, right now, this month, where the Clarity Act still might, but yeah, hang on. Let me see, the Market Structure Bill. It's something like this fall. They're still expecting that to pass, and that to me is when it's game on in a different way, and that's why I can't quite. I'm looking at an Ansem tweet right now, and he's saying 90K before 120K, and I'm like, I have so much trouble getting with this idea that we've topped or get ready for the end, and everybody's talking like that, and I get it, but not when I really think that the craziest speculative stuff is still to come, when there's the regulatory clarity, when projects and businesses can finally come and build again and announce what they're going to build, and the speculation happens then. Right now, I think we're speculating on previous cycle kind of narratives, not next generation narratives in crypto. And I think that's what comes in after this stuff. And there you see it. Like Kat said, Brian Armstrong's there now in DC, and he's getting that support for these bills. It is going to pass. Like you said, they know it. In fact, the timing of the base token announcement lines up with this. They're announcing it because they know this is going to pass. They know it. Otherwise, you don't put a token announcement out there. You don't do it.
Yeah, when Base is never, like, is always said they're not doing a token. What amazing timing that Basecamp, happens to be when Brian Armstrong's in DC talking to all the regulators, right? Oh, now we're going to do a token. You know what? Let's start thinking about a token now that I've talked to all the regulators.
It's
Makes
very
complete
obvious
sense.
coming, right? Here we go. In DC, the last few days, working on the market structure, working to get market structure regulation passed for crypto. There it is. I'm just more curious the time frame. We were just hearing September. That's very specific for the Clarity Act, but the market structure bill is different. Clarity Act isn't comprehensive. The things it doesn't cover are covered here. And again, it's such a big deal. So I don't know, dude. Exciting time and exciting things on the horizon, both all the platforms, protocols we love, but all these token launches that are coming. Again, MetaMask announced a token. We now know there's going to be a base token. We know OpenSea has a token. We know Abstract has a token. We know Pump Fund has their airdrop still coming too. These are some of the biggest platforms and maybe some of the most lucrative airdrops we've seen, period. And it's like 5 or 6 of them. There's a lot of them coming. Like, we might get some real serious fuel for the rest of this run. We might.
And just to stay on the regulation stuff real quick, and virtuals, you saw that virtuals US lead was with Hester Pierce, right? I mean, virtuals team met with Hester Pierce.
Okay.
Virtual's not going anywhere. They're a part of this too.
I love that, dude. That's so cool to hear. I'll bet on them. I'll keep betting on them. You know what? Yeah, they've earned my the virtuals team earned my trust. I will bet on them until there's no virtuals or no reason to anymore. But they got me. Cool, guys. Keep it open for just another couple minutes. If anybody wants to come on stage, has thoughts about anything we talked about, anything else, all fair game. Otherwise, Cats, anything else going on that we got to hit today?
I mean, we covered a lot.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah,
it's feeling good out there, right? We'll see. I'm waiting to see. I'm really waiting to see with the rate cuts. Actually, I kind of want to go look at some markets. Maybe I'll do that afterwards. But it's the rate cuts and how it impacts the market and price action and all that. Banana Zone, the second leg of it coming. It's what everybody's waiting and watching for, man. And I was telling my brother yesterday, I hopped in the Kong's VC last night, and I'm like, look, I don't know exactly when it's going. It could be now, it could be in a few weeks, but I'm like, I just don't want to be sidelined when it happens. I hate that feeling. I've been there. I think everybody's been there, right? The market does its crazy parabolic thing and you're not in it. Nothing feels worse. So I'm in now. I'm in some meme coins. I'm making some what I think are some smarter plays, and we're going to set it and forget it here for a little bit. But I would stay very plugged in, guys, and be ready for some fun stuff.
I don't know, man. Look at the chat in the StreamYard. I just sent you that tweet.
All right, let's see. Oh, real cool. Okay, honored to meet and spend time with SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce on behalf of Virtual. Where was this? Interesting. I saw a post they had. They were actually in Chicago, and you can come and meet with them. And I was thinking of going. I wonder where this was. That's great. Huh. So they're actually kind of touring around the country, right? And I think they've put out this, they've put it out there. Like if we want to meet, they said like small bills, startup, small businesses in crypto. We want to hear from you directly. Right. So, man, you got to love to see that. The Virtuals team meeting with Hester Pierce. Man, times have changed, huh?
Yeah. Different world we live in now.
Just incredible things. All right, guys, I think we'll wrap there. Geez, fun show. No guest to announce next week. We do have some cool ones, but I'll keep those for right here, right now. But yeah, expect another great week of virtuals, and I think beyond. Maybe next week is where we start getting into some of the robotics and covering Vader a little differently too. I love that stuff, and one of the reasons I love it is I love AR VR stuff, and that definitely is tying in together. Like it's speaking to me. So we'll start getting into the robotic stuff here, which will be a blast. Let's run through the social so you can make sure to follow everybody here. Cats Fanatic OG or 0G, give him a follow on X. Cats, you're fucking awesome. I'm digging the Friday thing, man. It's a blast. So thanks for joining.
Oh, I love it. It's my favorite day of the week.
Hell yeah. You can follow us at the Swarm_AI. Yeah, some changes and announcements coming on that front. So stay tuned for that. You can follow me at Hudah_idiot. And then just subscribe over on YouTube. It's CryptoSlam over on that side. Guys, have a great weekend. I'll be live on my personal stuff all weekend long, but we'll see you back here Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Guys, we'll see you later. Goodbye.